Nick, first of all, growing up in Victoria, British Columbia, baseball, not the most popular sport there, right? Did you play hockey and how did you get involved in baseball? How'd you get interested in that?
Yeah, well, actually, contrary to popular belief, baseball is actually pretty prominent. Yeah, there's a really good league there. It's called the PBL as Pacific Baseball League. So throughout high school, I was able to compete and play in that. And then as I continued to move forward, I got the opportunity to play for the junior national team. So that's kind of like how I came up. And what got me involved is I lived not too far away from Leywards Baseball Park, and I would go up there and watch baseball games when I was younger. And just being an active kid, I just wanted to. It was something that I enjoyed doing. I found passion through, so I just continued to kind of pursue that.
Did you grow up a big Blue Jays fan?
Yeah, Blue Jays fan and Mariners fan, just because they're close. But Roy Halladay was and is my favorite player. I think he's the one that kind of made me really fall in love with that game. And then also, watching guys like Vernon Wells, Brendan Morrow, all those guys, Burley and stuff. I think just watching how they went about like their day-to-day like baseball playing habits kind of made me kind of learn as I kind of progressed.
Tim Leeper likes to joke that you're essentially from America. He says Seattle is like British Columbia. I don't know if you agree with that, but are you? I mean, do you enjoy going home? Do you consider Canada still home for you? And are you a like maple syrup, Tim Hortons, poutine kind of guy?
Yeah, I think for me, I've been grateful enough to be able to and had the opportunity to spend a lot of my time in the U.S. A lot because of baseball and college. And I grew up on an island off the coast of British Columbia, so it's a little slower moving pace, but still has the Canadian roots. But for me, it's just I really enjoyed my time in the States. I've come accustomed to being here, but I grew up where I grew up, and it's just for me, it's a little bit different than even Canada. It's kind of like its own special place.
That's awesome. You went from Canada to New Mexico. You go to New Mexico Junior College, right? And your head coach, you hadn't even talked to him. I mean, he hadn't met you or even watched you pitch. You had no friends there. You had really no point of reference. What was that like for you? Was it jarring at all?
I think for me, I luckily I was given a full ride scholarship to New Mexico Junior College. Josh Simpson was there. So kind of just being able to take that burden off of my parents at the time of having to pay for school was pretty big for me. And it's my dreams and it's what I want to go do. And they had supported me financially a lot when I was growing up through travel ball and all of that stuff. So for me, it was just about the full ride. And I think I was curious to see what was going to happen and see where it was going to take me. At the time, I didn't really know if I could play in the big leagues or if even it was in aspirations. It was more about just getting into schooling and getting education paid for. But I think for me, and as I've gotten older, I really enjoy new situations and new people, and I find myself being able to be rather comfortable moving into those situations because I think it's just interesting that you're meeting all of these different people, but you're trying to pursue and do the same thing, so you all have like-minded goals at the same time. So I never really shy away from those things. I more embrace them because I think it's interesting to meet new individuals.
The other thing about that is like you were lightly recruited out of Canada, but then you ended up being, when the Nationals drafted you, you were a top prospect. So was that kind of the beginning of you knowing, hey, I'm going to bet on myself and I'm going to go out there and kind of have kind of a little bit of a chip on my shoulder?
I wouldn't say chip. I just think for me, the way that I progressed throughout my minor league career, I was always doing well enough and better, and I was always consistently moving up, and I was hitting all of those kind of quote unquote benchmarks of, just high A to double A to triple A, a couple all-star games mixed in there, just those small little things that kind of show you back up that, hey, you could do something, you could be something, but continue to put in the work ethic and, it takes a lot of passion and a lot of grittiness and grind just to kind of get to that level too.
I mean, to get drafted by the Nationals, was that a dream for you? Did you think the whole time you were going to play baseball professionally?
Yeah, I think for me, I just thought that it was kind of the way that things naturally progressed. I had seen other people get drafted from the junior national team when I was younger. I was like, okay, I just want to do what they're doing. It comes in my own time. And then once I was in it, I just surrounded myself with people that were kind of moving in the same direction. I had good friends still, and I just kind of naturally progressed and just kind of did my thing.
Well, before you made your debut, you got traded to the Phillies, so it's good you like new places and new things, but the first trade can sometimes be a little tough. Like, was it uncomfortable at the time?
It was very interesting. When I got traded, I was very comfortable. I had some really good friends with the Washington Nationals, so there was that little bit of an interesting period when I got traded over. But the great thing about it is I came over to a Reading Fighting Phils team that was just stacked with dudes like Hoskins and Eflin and J.P. Crawford and Andrew Knapp, all of these guys that were just really good baseball players, but also had that understanding and believing themselves and continually to progress and had very high ceilings. So it was easy for me to show up to that team and just continue to kind of progress. But these guys were really good and they were on a really good streak. So I just kind of stuck in there and just kind of hung out with them and just continued to progress, and then got to know guys, and then got really a lot of good friendships, and a lot of those guys made it to the big leagues with me.
The first few years playing professionally, did you go through some struggles? Did they kind of shape you in any way, or do you look back and appreciate some of them?
Yeah, I mean, I went through plenty of struggles. Everybody does. Not everybody. Some players are very, very great players, and obviously that's because of work ethic and what they do. But for me, I was called up and sent down quite a few times, from year 17 to 20, and even and then once 21 kind of hit around, I kind of found my feet. But I think there's a lot of ups and downs, but it's what are you going to learn from those moments? How are you going to not let those define you, and how are you going to progress through them? Because if you just focus and sit on them, then you're never going to make it back, and you're never going to progress and get through those things. You always just got to continue to challenge yourself and prove to yourself that you're better than other guys.
So you played in two pretty intense markets with Philadelphia, and then you also got traded to Boston, and that's another intense market, intense media, fan base. How did you navigate that? What was that like?
I think for me, it's just part of the business, but I just try to keep my space and keep my time to myself as well, and try not to open up too much. I'm really focused on my teammates, what I need to do on the field, because at the end of the day, we're expected to win and do great things on the field for the fan base, for the organization. So for me, it was just, I'm going out there and I'm making sure I'm ticking all my boxes, working as hard as I can. And, if I fail on the field I'm very open and outgoing with, I screwed up or whatever it is, but I'm going to continue to try to progress and be better. And, I lay everything out there, and I care very much about this game. I'm very grateful for it. So I never take anything for granted. So I just kind of continue to do that. And, if you just do that, the media just kind of allows you to be who you are, and you just do your thing.
In 23, you get moved from the rotation to the bullpen. We saw this with Seth Lugo, with Michael King, too. When the organization sees you one way and you might see yourself another way, how do you kind of work through that? Because it's kind of very public with it happening, and then you're also dealing with now you've got a new role with the team.
For me, I think it's an exciting moment, too, at the same time, because it really challenges you. You're expected to kind of go in there and do what you do, and you really just have to put all the emotions, all of the feelings aside, and you got to go, how am I going to help my team get better? And if you focus on helping your team get better and you're doing well, then you continue to progress, and then you kind of work your way back into certain positions. And for me, I was able to work my way back into the rotation, and that's something I, held my head very high on as I was kind of backed up against the wall. When I went to the bullpen, I helped out the team do a lot of great things and a lot of different roles, and helped us kind of progress. And then I was able to kind of stand still as my own, as the starter that has always been, at the end of the year, and kind of allow things to progress from there.
You were really good in the bullpen. Do you take anything from the bullpen still into your starts?
Yeah, I do. I think the bullpen was a really big learning moment for me, especially the second time around, when I was a little more mature and had the understanding of the total circumference of the game. I think it just allowed me to kind of figure out how to dig down in those moments to really beat hitters with my stuff and what stuff to go to. And then it really helps me when I get into a game when I have runners on second and third, no outs, or maybe one out, or first and second, no outs. I got to dig deep, and I got to figure out how I'm going to navigate this to either give up no runs or one run.
What do you love about starting, and how did you know, hey, I want to be a starter? This is really what my goal is.
I think it's just that the game, it's my day to pitch, but also the game is in my hands, in my control. I manage and dictate the pace and play of the game and how things are going to go. If I'm walking guys and I'm getting behind guys, it's usually not going to be my day. But, if I'm doing the little things right, I'm attacking the strike zone, I can really feel like how the game would progress in the way that I would want it to progress, and I can kind of help feed my teammates into kind of the rhythm that I'm in, and we can all progress together.
How do you think you've grown throughout your time in the big leagues, and what mentally have you changed about the way you approach every day and the way you approach the game?
In my career, there's been a lot to navigate, from immigrating to a country to being called up and sent down to being in the bullpen and to be a starter. So I think the accumulation of those things is kind of the player that I am currently right now. And then as I continue to learn into my free agency and what that's like being a team leader and being one of those guys, that's kind of how I use all of those lessons, all of the different circumstances that happened to me, how I kind of changed myself and then I allowed myself to succeed. And then kind of, when other guys come up, help them out in those ways, kind of detect what's going on in their career, their personal lives, and bringing kind of my more personal sides to this and tell them, hey, this is how I got through this. May not work for you, but hey, this is how I got through this, or this is how I attacked that hitter, or this is how I beat that team, or this is where I failed and how I got through those.
This chapter, San Diego, has this unlocked anything for you? I mean, you've been really good for the Padres.
Yeah, it kind of brings me back to the 21 team that I came to with Boston that first year. It's such a great core of players here and core of coaching staff and front office. They've all been here. They've all been winning together for a number of years now, and they're all coming into their own as a team. So for me, it was just coming in, putting my best foot forward, and just doing what I do on the field, and then allow everything else to kind of naturally develop as the days and as the months go on. And it's not so much about a 1 year thing for me. It's about a 4 year thing. It's not about right now. It's about where am I going to be in 4 years, but it's also enjoying each and every moment of this singular season of the start of my Padre career.
Are you super cerebral? Like, do you do a lot of reading and researching? Like, what? No. Okay.
No, my wife's the reader and the researcher. I think I just am like a sponge sometimes.
Are you like a TV show, movies guy? Or
Yeah, I do enjoy a good movie. I enjoy documentaries and nature shows, but I enjoy the beach and I enjoy hanging out with my wife and my dog and swimming and just more nature and just relaxed mindset.
I mean, I don't want to say this is. I've been in Victoria when I was a teenager. It's beautiful, but the temperature, being outside, does this kind of remind you of it at all?
It's much more beautiful here, much more sunnier days and warmer weather and fruit trees and stuff. It's a little more gloomy back home, but as of overall weather and lifestyle, there's some similarities of it being on the coast.
Anything that you're going to look for in San Diego? Any kind of exploring?
I mean, one thing that I really do want to learn is how to surf. I think that would be really fun for me. Yeah, I really do enjoy the ocean. It's starting to warm up, so I'll probably go for a swim here soon. But I think by the end of it, I'll probably be an avid surfer.
Are you a golfer?
I do enjoy golfing. Me, Michael, and Sheets are the three guys that are golfing together all the time. Now Kyle's up here, so he'll be here too, so that's good. But yeah, we're the golfers of the group.
If you were to give yourself, the younger you, any advice, what would you tell yourself?
Oh, probably just don't overthink things too much and allow things to naturally happen.
Nick, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate getting to know you a little bit better.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much.